You don't need to write code, hire a developer, or find budget to start building a real app anymore. So today I'm going to check out 6 of the top AI app builders, all of which let you get started completely for free. And to help you decide which one is best, I'm going to build the same app in all 6. Let's dive in. To start with, we're going to use the Jotform AI App Builder that you can access at the link in the description. And all I have to do is put my prompt straight into this page here. I'm going to say, create a volunteer sign-up app with scheduling and confirmation. This is the example we're going to try and build out in each of these different platforms to help see which is best. I'm going to hit send. And what I'm hoping is that Jotform is going to build an app where people can sign up as volunteers, and I'll be able to schedule their time and they will get a confirmation of when they're scheduled. Whilst it's building here on Jotform, it does talk you through it and shows you exactly what it's doing. It seems to write its own prompt based on what you've put in, and you can see it being built here on the right-hand side, which is quite nice. I like how visual this is, so you can see what's happening as it happens. And it's really nice that you get this list on the left of the task progress that it's given itself, and it's working through each of these tasks to go and build that app. Once it's done, you land on this page where it tells me that it's done on the left. It's given it a name called Volunteer Loop. That's quite nice. And on the right is kind of the desktop view of all the pages. So I can scroll down, see the different parts of the app it's created, and it's split into pages. So there's a scheduling page here. You can see there's the shift details page like this and signups at the bottom. And if I want to, I can preview this on mobile by clicking the button on the right here. And so it's all those pages we just saw, but in mobile like this. And what's nice is if I want to make edits, obviously I could click the app designer icon here and I could choose from the different colors and things that are set up over here. Or back on the left-hand side, I can click build with Podo and it pops open that chat panel again where I can then ask for changes and Podo will go and make them for me. So I might say something like change the color scheme to orange and let's see what happens. A few seconds later, Podo has done it. It's updated the pages. I can see them on the left and the right here in the mobile preview too. And so let's scroll through down to the bottom here and click Get Started. You can see there are options to browse shifts or my signups. And so I could see the upcoming shifts here where it's going to ask me to log in and that's how it would access that information. So obviously I could keep editing this to make sure it's exactly what I want. And when I'm ready to publish it, I just click the publish button at the top here. And there are a few different things I could do. I could just copy the link to send that to people and they could access it on the web on any device. Or just below that, I could put people's email addresses here and send them a link so that they could access it directly. And also on this publish page is the option to add app users. So I can add different users with different roles as well, from admins just to users. And that's how they would log in and access the different information. So I think Jotform's AI Builder is great for beginners especially. It's super simple to use. One of the fastest AI app builders that I've seen. That chat from that initial prompt to actually creating a fully fledged app was about a minute. You can see how simple it is to change the design. It's all very customizable. And one strength I think that makes it stand out against other app builders is that it includes the whole Jotform ecosystem. So we can go and create forms, tables, agents, and all of the other things that form parts of the Jotform ecosystem to appear in one single app. Let's go and look at our next one then on this list, and that's Base44. Again, I'm not even logged in here yet. There's just this prompt box on the home page here. So I'm going to give it the same prompt to create a volunteer sign up app with scheduling and confirmation and send that. And the first thing I need to do is log in. So I'm just going to log in with Google here. And it's going to create a free account. And similar to Jotform, I've got the chat panel on the left-hand side and it's building my idea on the right-hand side. So let's see what we get. So here's what it's created. It looks great. It feels more like a minimum viable product for an app that I would release to sell than something just for internal use. It took a little bit longer, but the design of Base44 is very clean. And if I click through, let's have a look. So I could go to Riverside Park cleanup. It looks like I can confirm sign up here. And then view a schedule like this, which is all very impressive from that one prompt. I could go to create an event here and I've got the ability to put all of the information in here. And similar to Jotform, you can just keep chatting with Base44 to edit the build. So you might say something like change the color scheme to orange again. And there we go. It's gone ahead and done that work. And now everything is the same app, but in orange. And if I want to preview this on mobile rather than desktop, I can use this button on the top right of the screen here to switch to mobile and see what it will look like here. It's added the scroll bar to access all the tags here so you can filter those volunteer opportunities. And it looks pretty good. And in Base44, once we've got the app looking how we want it, we can just click the publish button on the top right of the screen. You can see it will just give me a URL. So when I click publish, At the moment, that's going to be public, or I can keep it private, but I need to be on a paid plan for that. So I think this is probably more suited to founders of companies who want to build an app that maybe to be sold and go beyond just kind of basic landing pages with information for people to look at and find out more about a particular thing. Let's head to our third tool on the list, which is Lovable. And again, we're going to use that same prompt so we can compare all of these together, create a volunteer sign up app with scheduling and confirmation. I hit submit on that prompt from their homepage. Again, I have to log in to create an account. Once I'm logged in, I have to choose some of these preferences as I go through the setup here. And then it lands me back on this prompt box and I have to click enter again. Now, Lovable is the first app that we've used so far that is asking us questions in order to carry on. So at the bottom here, it's popped up with some questions. It says, what's the core scope, public sign up or accounts and dashboard or the full tool? To keep it simple, I'm just going to say public sign up only and then click next. And it's given me a choice of visual direction, which is nice as well. Let's go for this blue color palette here, and then I can submit. And now it's going to get to work again with the chat on the left-hand side, but taking up a bit more space, and the preview on the right. So the build on Lovable is not as visual as the others have been, where you can kind of see it coming together as it happens. Now, this was the longest build so far. That took a few minutes to get to this point. Let's have a look at what we've got. I'm going to expand the space over here. A bit less visual. It's not included any images as placeholders or anything. We've got the ability to browse open shifts. We see them all here, so I can click on one. And at the moment, it's only created this homepage, it looks like, which looks good, but that was quite a long time to wait. One interesting thing is that it's asking me to set up the email domain so that it can send emails. It's getting a bit more technical than what we've seen so far and thinking about some of the next steps if this was going to be a public app. And just like before, we can also ask follow-up questions. So I might say this time something like, add some images to the opportunities and change the color scheme, you guessed it, to orange. Let's see what we get. All right, again, that was probably the slowest update of any of the apps so far, but it does look really good. It's done a nice job of adding some images here. It's updated it to orange, and it has done something a little bit different with the design, using some different fonts at the top here. When you're ready in Lovable, you can click on the publish button in the top right. It will create a URL for that app, and you can share that with anyone who needs to access it. Lovable is a super popular app, so it's a really great option if you're looking to build a website, maybe with some interactivity, particularly if you're a beginner. The design is super clean, and it talks you through kind of all the steps as you're going. Let's move on to our next one then, which is Bolt. And Bolt, similar to the others, has this prompt box on the homepage. I'm going to put in that same prompt, create a volunteer sign-up app with scheduling and confirmation. Hit build now. It's going to ask me to log in just like the others, so I'm going to use my Google account to log in. And once I'm signed in, it's taken me to a similar screen with the chat on the left, preview on the right. So let's see how long it takes. This one took about the same amount of time as Lovable did. Let's have a look. Interesting that it's chosen to use a gradient this time. It hasn't put any placeholder images in, but there is space for them. So I've got all of the volunteer opportunities that it's created here. I can click on sign up. It actually has a sign up form here, which is helpful. So it's gone a bit further than Lovable, which only gave us that homepage on the first pass. And it looks like I can switch to my signups up here as well, and I could put my email address in to see that. And I also like how it's explained what it's done on the left-hand side. So it's talked about some of the features, how it's set up the database and the back end as well, and the design too. And what's nice in Bolt is I can easily switch to a code view up on the top left here and look at all the different files that it's written. And when I'm ready, I can click publish on the top right of the screen. It's telling me there's 4 security issues detected. If I choose review security, it brings them up here, and then I can click ask Bolt to fix if I'm unsure how to do that myself. Now, if you were to publish here through Bolt, it will host this for you on a Bolt subdomain. Like with the others, I can chat with Bolt on the left-hand side, so I could say something like change the color scheme to orange again, like this, and let's see what it does. Again, Bolt definitely isn't the fastest there. It's taken a couple of minutes to go and update the color, but it is easy to use. I would say that it feels a bit more geared towards a slightly more technical audience. So if you already know how to do some code, or you really want to get into understanding the back end of the app that you're building, then Bolt is probably a better choice because it's all right here, even accessing the database and the code as we saw earlier. Let's move on to our next app then, which is Replit. And similar to the others, I've got a prompt box on the homepage. So let's put my same prompt in here and click start. Like with the others, I need to log in, so I'm going to use my Google account to log in. And once I'm logged in, it's asking me to choose a plan, so I can continue with the free plan here. And it's already building the app in the background, so I've got the chat on the left-hand side. Looks like the design is going to come up on the right-hand side over here. Let's see what we get. Well, this one took the longest by far. That was a few minutes, but it also looks the most different so far. We've got a header section at the top of the page here, some nice stats across here, and then the kind of familiar boxes that we've seen created in the other apps at the bottom. Let's click on sign up now and see if it takes us through to a page. It does. It's got the page for that opportunity, a form where someone could put their details in. So let's try that. Click confirm. Looks like that works. It confirms as well. The confetti's a nice touch. And so it really feels actually like a very fully fledged app compared to the others straight off the bat, which is really interesting. There's also an admin panel up here. When I click on that, that isn't working. So I can just click on debug with agent, see if that's able to fix it. And I'll do that instead of a follow-up prompt this time because this one actually created the app in Orange from scratch. And that seems to have worked. Replit has gone through and fixed the error that was coming up. And so I can see on the admin panel each of these and how many signups there are. I can click on the 3 dots, go to manage volunteers. So far, this feels like the most complete app off the bat with one very simple prompt, which is quite impressive. And in Replit, I can look at the tools and files up here. There are lots of different settings in here. So again, if you're more technical, this would be a good place to start. And I can click on publish, get ready to publish the app and choose that as an option. And Replit does also give you the option to deploy directly to the Play Store or the iOS App Store as well. Let's look at our 6th and final app of the video now, which is Zite. Again, we land on this page that has a prompt box in the middle, and Zite positions itself more focused on business processes and internal apps. Now, this could be construed as an internal app, but it'll be interesting to see whether it works. That same prompt to create a volunteer sign-up app with scheduling and confirmation. I'm going to click build it at the bottom here. Like with the others, I'm going to log in with my Google account. And as soon as I'm logged in, it started building. Again, the chat on the left-hand side, the preview on the right. It immediately feels a bit more colorful than some of the others that we've seen today. And it's the first one to actually ask me for permission to move on with what it's doing. So it's saying here it wants to create a database. I need to click the create database button to let it do it. So it feels like maybe it's going to be a bit more guided. It's going to have me confirm each step that it needs to take. A few minutes later, here's what we've got. This is definitely the most basic looking app that has been created so far. There's also an issue with the images here. But if I click on one, let's see what happens. It takes me to a details page. There's a sign up at the bottom here. I can fill out a form to confirm the sign up. I can look at my signups on the top right as well. I'd enter my email to look at that. It all makes sense. And similar to some of the others, there's some options at the top like the workflows. This one feels quite nice because it's quite a visual way to see how things work as people browse and use the app. You can look at the database and see the users that are there as well. Like with the others though, I can also keep chatting with Zite on the left. So let's try changing the color scheme to orange. And there we go, it's changed a few bits of color to an orange. And with the workflows, this one definitely does feel more suited to business. So particularly good for internal workflows, dashboards, portals, and so on. A good option if you want some structured data for your team. Definitely feels more business software focused than just creating a website or minimum viable product to be shared externally. And then when I am ready, I could just go over to the publish button on the top right of the screen here and choose publish. This is going to share it to the web and I would have a link to share. We've looked at 6 apps today, but there are other options too. You could use tools like Claude Cowork to help you or Claude Code on the desktop, or check out ChatGPT's Codex or even Google's Anti-Gravity, which are all tools designed to help you code, but really require just a little bit of knowledge, at least with coding to get started, rather than being more beginner friendly like the apps we saw today. So we looked at Zite and Replit and Bolt and Lovable and Base44 and Jotform's AI App Builder. All of them bring their own unique take and have different pros and cons. You've seen how the designs can really vary. If you're a complete beginner, I would recommend starting with something like the Jotform App Builder because it's super easy to use. Lots of customization, but you can literally just talk to the AI, ask it for what you want, which is great for doing updates in the app as well. And I really like how it integrates Jotform forms and workflows to help take the app to another level and help you manage it. If that was helpful, don't forget to click subscribe and give us a like, and I'll see you in the next one.